Is this thing on? Welcome to Rebooted the Podcast. I'm your host, Alita Hernandez. Come join me weekly to hear about my journey from recovery to healing after having a stroke and other life challenges. So let's get talking. Hi, everybody. Alita Hernandez, Rebooted the Podcast. Here we are again. Just saying hello again. And just a big reminder before I even begin, can you please like my content? There's a like down there on YouTube, and if you're on other app platforms like Spotify or Google or Apple, just please subscribe to my channel. It helps the algorithm and AI and all that stuff, so I can get more listeners and make my audience even bigger and reach even more people and help out there. I really appreciate that. So I appreciate you all the time for watching and being supporting my show. So saying that, also always wanted to sponsor my Arlene G, la diva de la música, de la salsa, sorry, la diva de la salsa. She has made a line of lipsticks. I don't have the eyeglasses yet, but the lipsticks come in all different colors. This is the red one. So I'm sporting that one. It stays on all day. It's awesome. So I will be selling here at Studio 33 and on my website, and I'll give you all the information about that as well. Today, we have a special guest. Of course, I always have a special guest. I always try to bring you an expert out there. So I'm bringing you today a woman who's an herbalist. So we're going to talk about herbs and how good they are and the natural medicine of the planet. So you guys learned something new again today. So stay tuned for our guest is coming right on after this second. Thank you, and we'll be right back. So hi, everybody. I'm back again, and I have a special lady here that I found on Instagram because I'm always doing my research for good things and make you healthy all out there. So this is Asia, and she is an herbalist. So she's going to tell us a little bit about herself and how she started on this journey with the herbs.
Okay, so I started first of all, I grew up, my mom is from Panama. So things that are a little bit foreign to people here in America is not foreign for me because with herbs, with my mom, as far as that. So
well, I'm Puerto Rican, so we got the,
really?
the land thing. Yeah, so I
you
understand.
get it, right?
You speak Spanish as well?
No, actually, that's on my bucket list for this year. I'm learning to speak Spanish now. I know everybody in my family is getting on me, but I ended up getting into herbs like fully, learning about it for myself. Once I kind of had a health scare myself, which was a really huge deal for me, which was fibroids, uterine fibroids, which affects Black and Latina women 8 out of 10. All throughout your childbearing years. And so once I kind of found out that I had fibroids, and I went to my OBGYN and was basically told that I did not have fibroids, but I knew what was going on with me. I was constantly on my cycle. It was heavy. It wouldn't stop. It was like 3 months. It was just a very bad situation. I ended up getting my exam report, like written report, and seeing that I did have several fibroids. So it was just a weird situation that your doctor would lie to you. And a lot of the things that they give women nowadays for fibroids, PCOS, or menstrual cycle issues is birth control, and which is actually the worst thing because it's synthetic estrogen, and that's like the last thing our body needs at that time. And so with me also being a nurse myself, I became an RN when I was 19. I'm not sure if you can hear me.
Yeah, I can.
Oh, okay.
I just muted myself for a second.
No, that's okay, because my phone was kind of going off too. But yeah, I became an RN at 19. And so I've always wanted to help people. Once I kind of seen that the healthcare system really wasn't for us, I decided to just start something for myself and for everybody else. Just the main thing about it, although I make products and stuff like that for people, I make customizable products. is education. I just want to get the information out there on how we can better take care of ourselves.
Exactly. That's what my message is as well. So it's interesting you mentioned about the fibroids, because when I was, let's see, I don't know, in my 40s, I started getting them earlier than that. I was like 25 and I had my first surgery to remove one, and it came back again. So I had 3 surgeries in my life because of that, and had my right ovary taken out. I don't even remember. I was 40 something, because I was having heavy menstrual to the point that I was getting anemic because I was losing so much blood. It was just like, it just was horrible. And I wish I knew you back then. And all the things that I know now too, because I go to, I do Chinese medicine, I do acupuncture, and I do the herbs from the Chinese doctor, and they're amazing. So it's very similar. You're using herbs, which are natural from the earth. Because everything that comes from the earth is medicine and is food for our body. And like you said, growing up with a Panamanian mother, the same way my grandmother, grandparents were in Puerto Rico. When you got sick, you had the ginger. You always got ginger for your stomach. Or she would give us, when I had bronchitis, she would do watercress. She would boil watercress and then make me drink the water to get all the phlegm out of my chest. I'm like, Grandma, what are you doing? No, just drink it. Just drink it. It's gonna work.
That's actually one of the recipes that I have in my herb class. I have an online herb class, and I basically teach people. It's for beginners. I basically teach people to use things that's already in their kitchen, in their refrigerator and cabinets, as medicine for themselves and for their family. So I definitely get what you're saying.
Yeah. I have a moringa tree right outside the house.
Oh.
So I get the leaves. I eat them as how do you call it? The microgreens. I just take it off the plant. I just put on my salad, or then I dry them and then I make tea. And I put in my smoothies. And people don't know about moringa, how incredible a tree that grows wild almost, and it has so many benefits that you can't get anywhere else.
Yep. Very, very, very true. Yeah.
So when you started this, when you had this problem with the fibroids, did you come up with an herb or something that alleviated them or helped you during that time?
So basically, I kind of started backwards because I didn't really know what I was doing. So I didn't take the birth control that they gave me. I went ahead, and the first tea that I ever came up with was the Regulate Menses Cycle tea, which basically stopped my period because I had been bleeding for 3 months at that time constantly. And so, it was very bad. And I was only 25 at that time. I think what really pushed me was my doctor suggesting a hysterectomy, and I was only 25 and I hadn't had kids yet. What? Yeah, I had no kids.
No, that's ridiculous.
So I was just like, this obviously doesn't seem right. I'm in the medical field. It just didn't sit right with me. So the first tea I ever came up with was the Regulate Menses tea, which was just about like 4 to 5 ingredients. It was just super strong. I would steep it for like 4 hours. I really was trying to stop my cycle, and it worked. And so when I did more research about fibroids and herbs that can help with that, that was the second thing that I came up with. I was consistent with it. That's the main thing. I knew that I had to change my lifestyle. At that time, I think I was also, a lot of people don't know that stress really does cause a lot of problems in the body.
Yeah.
I was going through a lot of stress and depression at that time. So that I had to make sure that I changed my lifestyle, the food that I ate, just everything, my mindset, everything. 6 months later, went back. My fibroids had significantly shrunk, very small, and now I don't have any. From time to time, I still, take that tea and stuff like that to kind of keep up the results. But so that's pretty much how I got into that. Once I seen that it was the real deal, that's when I started kind of putting my business together and putting it out there. When I first came out, I was called She Heals Tea. So then I rebranded and went to Herbs in Asia. But yes, when I first started, I only had 6 teas.
And how many do you have now?
Over 192.
Oh, wow.
Mhm.
That's
Mhm.
awesome. That's awesome. We
Yeah.
can buy all your teas online?
Yes, at
Okay,
herbsinasia.com.
perfect. Yeah, I'm gonna add the link to for on the podcast so everybody can see it as well. So I'm really for all the natural stuff. But that's
Mhm.
what caught my eye. So I always going through different people that I see out there that are doing great things, supporting us small business entrepreneurs like as we are, right?
Yeah,
And just help each other out, because I mean that's great that you were
absolutely.
able to reduce the size of the fibroids. Like I said, I had
Mhm.
3 surgeries,
Mhm.
and I was getting very frustrated because I would have a surgery and then a couple of years down the line I'm like, again,
Yeah.
with no medication at that time. Regular doctors, they like, again, you talked about the birth control. So when I was really young, so the first time I had it I was 25. I was
Mhm.
25 and I had to have
Mhm.
surgery because I was in so much pain
Yeah.
because the fibroid had grown and it was leaning. It was like pressing on the ovary and pressing on all the parts, and it was just really painful.
Mhm.
And he put me on birth control, and I landed up getting migraine headaches because of the birth control. I couldn't use the standard birth control pill. So
Yeah.
he said, well, the only way you can do it is go to a lower estrogen birth control pill, but that doesn't help with the fibroids.
Mhm.
Just helps
No.
with not getting pregnant. So why am I putting
Yeah.
chemicals in my body if I don't need it?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So basically, what the birth control fibroids are caused by excess estrogen. And then when you add birth control to, which is
more
synthetic
estrogen.
estrogen,
Exactly.
that's adding more estrogen, causing them to grow. But see, what it does is it mimics the estrogen. So it seems like your cycle is regular and it's not. The problem is just happening in the background and you're only stopping the symptoms, which is why I love herbs, because it's gonna get rid of the symptoms,
Right.
because it's gonna get rid of the root of the problem.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So um I didn't understand that when they tried to prescribe that to me. And then with every woman that I talk to every single day, they all tell me the same thing. Oh yeah, I'm on birth control, or that just didn't sound right. It didn't make me feel good. So yeah, it's all really about money for them. The bigger your fibroids grow or the worse your health issue is, um, the more we can charge you. You have to keep coming back and you have to keep coming back for more. So
Exactly. Like I
yeah.
said, I mean, it didn't work one time. And back when I was 25, they had to really actually had to cut me.
Oh,
Now they
wow.
do a laparoscopy. So
Yeah.
now the last two that I had, I did a laparoscopy, so it wasn't that invasive, right? But
Yeah.
the first one, because it was in the 90s, I was
Mhm.
literally cut like a 5-inch scar, you know, that I couldn't even walk. I remember I was like 6 weeks, like hunched over because of the pain,
Yeah.
because they cut through your muscles, they cut through everything to get in there, right?
Yes. Like a C-section.
Yeah, exactly. It was just like a C-section. Exactly. And I remember I was so upset about it because I was out of commission. I couldn't function. Like I never got, like, I was never right again. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Once you have
Yeah.
surgery, I remember I was working out, I was at the gym and I was trying to do a competition, like an amateur competition, and I
Yeah.
couldn't work out for months after that because it messed up the muscles going, from my stomach to my legs, everything, that I couldn't do the same thing.
Yeah.
And that's why I try to tell people out there, don't rush to, oh, surgery. Okay, fine. The doctor said I need surgery. No, do your
People don't
research.
understand. Yeah, even if your surgery went successful and everything, there's still so much scar tissue that's there. There are women who've had ovarian cysts and fibroids and just things like that. Um, they go get it cut out, and then now they have so much scar tissue they can't have a child now.
Mm,
There's always like a consequence to it. It's not it's not a healthy thing. It seems like a quick fix, but it's really not. It's
No.
not safe.
And well, first of all, it's very invasive, any operation, correct? And
Mm-hmm.
then first you have to go on anesthesia. Anesthesia is very dangerous. You
Mm-hmm.
can die from anesthesia.
Yeah.
They can give you too much, you'll never wake up, you wouldn't even know. So that's another thing too. So to be under, like, that's why I went to 3 surgeries and I had to go under every time. And I remember being sick from the anesthesia. They had given me, not that time, there was another time I got really sick. I woke up nauseous from the anesthesia and throwing up. And meanwhile, I had surgery and I'm like screaming, I'm in pain and like, what's going on? And they had to give me more medicine so I wouldn't throw up. I'm like, really? So now I'm all, oh, it's horrible.
Just kind of all over the place. Yeah,
it is. And
it's just unhealthy.
And the thing is, they didn't tell me back then about diet, about certain things to avoid. I didn't know any of that now until I would say the last few years that I've been researching, really, you know, and over the course of my life that I've learned things and I'm learning about what's good for you, what's not.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what I tell people all the time, because that's one thing I like to make clear. I'm not like a doctor basher or anything like that, because you need your doctor. I always tell people, well, if you're not sure exactly what's going on with you, you have to go to the doctor and get prescribed or diagnosed. I mean, because I can't do that online, but you definitely need your doctor. But it's important, because it's your life, to research it yourself. Do your own research, find out things, because nobody knows how you feel inside. There's so many people who go to the hospital and they're like, this hurts, that hurts, and they're like, well, nothing's wrong with you, it might just be in your head. But you know how you feel. A lot of people get told that, but you know how you feel. And I just feel like when you learn yourself and you're more in tune with yourself, then you're able to take care of yourself and limit going to the doctor so much, and you know, being prescribed all of this medicine that causes other things to get more medicine that causes other
things. Exactly.
Yeah. So,
and there's a lot of medicines out there. It takes a toll on your liver, it takes a toll on your kidneys.
It's just slowly killing you.
And the other day I just learned something which I thought was really incredible. So your kidney, you have 2 kidneys. So you can live with 1 kidney if something happened to the other one. That's the only thing. We only have 1 liver, 1 pancreas. But I found out that your liver, if your liver goes bad and you get a donor, even if it's a little piece of liver, it will grow. I didn't know that. I did a research that says the liver is the only organ that will regenerate. So if you have a bad liver, right, and you get somebody can donate, like you can give a piece of your liver to somebody.
And it'll just grow.
And it will grow. They will take the bad one out. They put the little piece in it and it will grow. I didn't know that.
And that just goes to show just how our body is able to heal itself.
It does.
It just, you know, it's just more and more proof on how our body can just heal itself if we are a little bit more patient. Like the mindset of this world right now is fast, get it. So if you just be a little patient with yourself, you know, the body can heal itself. So that's one of the main things that I like to put out there. You know, just do some research, learn what's around you, just even in your own backyard. A lot of stuff, those dandelions that they tell you to cut. Oh yeah,
that's so good. They're so good.
Yeah, pick them. You can eat it raw in your salad. You can make a tea of it. It's so many benefits of it. Just things in your backyard. So it's important.
I have aloe growing. I'm in South Florida, so we have tons of stuff. I walk around the neighborhood, and sometimes I go with an empty backpack because I go pick the mangoes, the avocados, the coconuts. I found tamarind. I mean, I find so much stuff around. Yeah. And then I'm like, what's that? And then I have my phone, so I take a picture and Google it. Oh, it is a plant. And then I, you know, like I look up the herb or something, and I'm coming home with all this stuff. Like, what are you doing?
No, yeah, and people think you're a crazy person, but you're not. I made a video about that too. A lot of people, I don't know if they know, but if you have an iPhone, if you take a picture of any plant or flower, you can look it up. It'll tell you what it is. Yep. So you don't have to feel like you're lost. It's not like a a mystery thing. It's really just you just finding out things.
Yeah, I found
Mhm.
this plant, this tree, and it had, I forgot what it's called. It's an Asian fruit. It's like it looks like a big, like a cone. You know,
Okay.
how do you call it? Oh my gosh, it looks like a big cone. It's like this big, and it's green,
Okay.
and it's like bumpy. But
Oh,
I can't think of the name of it right now. It's an
I feel like it
Asian.
starts with a G.
It's some kind of like an Asian pear or some. I don't know what it is, but
I know what you're talking about.
it was a huge tree, and I didn't want to take it because, of course, it was somebody's property. But then I
Yeah.
was reading about it, and it was like amazing. So these are the things I go around, like you're saying. I have an Android, but on the iPhone or Android, you take a picture. On the Google, there's a little eye, and it does like it looks at the picture, and it goes, oh, that's what it is, and it tells you the same thing on your iPhone. You said too, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It text what the picture is. So if
Hmm.
you see a tree out there and it has a
Hmm.
fruit, you're like, what is that? Yeah, just take a
Hmm.
picture and just search it, and it'll come up.
Yeah. 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 No, that's definitely one of the things that I love about South Florida. I'm actually gonna be down in Miami next week. You just walking past and it's just a mango tree.
Oh yeah.
I love that. So yeah, you don't get that a lot in Ohio. You get a lot of different vegetation, but like no, you're not gonna get
The
the tropical
tropical.
stuff like
Right,
yeah.
right. That's, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, everything's tropical down here. So, and
Mm-hmm.
now right now
Yeah.
it's mango season. So there's gazillions amounts of mangoes, and then there's 200 types of mangoes. So there was a mango festival here in South Florida a few years ago that I
Oh
went
wow.
to, and they said there were 200 types of mangoes. I never knew that. So when I walk around town too, I see the big
Yeah.
ones. They're like round. Then you have the ones that look like little pears. They're like long.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I seen that.
Then you have
Yeah.
little ones that are like this. They're all different, like colors. Some are yellow, some are red, some are. It's
Mm,
amazing. Yeah.
yeah. Well, that sounds really nice. That's actually my favorite fruit too. I would not mind being able to try all of
Oh
those.
yeah, and coconut. The only thing I can't cut the coconuts. They're too hard.
Yeah, I don't know how to cut a coconut. I just learned how to do the hammer and I was like, okay.
It's so hard. You should have seen
Yeah.
me the other day. I brought a coconut and I'm trying to do it myself. I almost broke everything. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like trying. And my husband said, no, you need a big, what we call a machete, a big
Hmm.
knife from, like
Hmm.
we in Puerto Rico, we have these big,
Yeah.
my grandfather used to have one. So
Yeah.
every time I was raised in New York. So every time I used to go to the island to visit my grandparents for the summer, he knew I wanted my fresh coconut. He would climb the
Hmm.
tree, get the coconut for me, and just cut it right there, and then just give me
Oh
that fresh
wow.
coconut. Yeah.
Yeah. I used to live in New York. That's pretty cool. I lived there for like 2 years, but I was like really young. But for some reason I felt like it always had like an impact on me. Like I love New York.
Yeah, New York. I
Hmm.
mean, I don't know now. Now it's not the same New York because there's a lot of things going on in the city now, and
Yeah.
due to the fact that the influx of people, it went from 8 million to 18 million people in New York. You didn't know that? Yeah.
Yeah. I can see why you left.
So I left a long time ago because I went to California. I
Oh,
went
okay.
from New York to California, and then I came here.
Oh,
So
nice.
yeah, so I kind of West Coast and then came back.
Hmm. Did you
For
like the
family.
West Coast?
Oh, I love California because I love my mountains. I really
Mhm.
miss the mountains. That's one thing I do miss. I wish I
Yeah.
had Florida, but with mountains would be beautiful.
Oh, yeah, that would,
If Florida had
especially.
mountains, and then it would be almost like a Puerto Rico or island,
Hmm.
because
Hmm.
Puerto Rico has tons of mountains in the
Mountains,
tropical
yep.
weather. So that's the
Hmm.
only thing we're missing in South Florida are mountains. We have garbage mountains, but that's about it. But yeah,
Yeah.
there's so many things here. So I try to, like you're saying, tell people when they walk around, there's so many different herbs
Hmm.
out there. There's so many
Hmm.
just plants. Like I said, the moringa tree, and people can look it up. I didn't even know the benefits. That tree was in my neighbor's yard, and she's been there 35 years.
Oh,
And she's
wow. Okay.
always talking about it, but I never paid attention.
Yeah.
And then I started researching and go, hold on a second. This tree has more, this little leaf has more benefit. It has every essential amino acid that you need.
Hmm.
Like, are you kidding me?
Hmm.
It has
A
so,
lot of people associate herbs and stuff like that with like witchcraft and stuff, so they never really think, which um there are a lot of people, you will find that on Instagram and TikTok and stuff
Yeah,
like
you
that. You will
do.
find a lot
Yeah,
of people that does stuff like that. But um if you're just using it for medicinal purposes, it's actually, it's just the best thing. It keeps you. And another thing I like to tell people, try to find a holistic doctor, somebody that supports you taking herbs. A lot of them take
exactly.
insurance now. That's something that a lot of people don't know. They do take insurance now. You don't have to come out of pocket. So I would even say somebody who supports your holistic journey, that can, guide you in the right way. Um, Definitely just switch over. It helps you change your whole mindset and your lifestyle, because even like just going back to the fibroids real quick, even if you get that surgery, like you said, you had three, it will come back if
Yep.
you don't change your lifestyle.
Yep.
So definitely, I always say, not only just find people on Instagram, although I am on Instagram, I feel like, you know, make your whole medical team holistic if possible.
Exactly. And that's what
Mm-hmm.
I've done. I mean, I have a regular medical doctor, an MD,
Mm-hmm.
that I go
Mm-hmm.
to for my labs and things like
Yeah.
that, just to check how am I doing. I'm good. And
Yeah.
sometimes I laugh because he says to me the other day, he says to me, I said, how are my numbers? Oh, your numbers are all great. I said, good. He says, are you still taking the cholesterol medicine? I go, no, I never took it to begin with. And he said, but
Yeah.
your cholesterol is fine. I said, yeah, because I had omega-3, extra omega-3, and a whole bunch of other stuff. And I changed my diet. And he goes, okay, just keep going what you're doing. He can't argue with me. He used to
No.
argue with me before and
Mm-hmm.
say, you have to take the medicine, you got to do this. I go, no, I'm not going to. I said,
Mm-hmm.
you can prescribe it to me and thank you. I'll take it with me, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
not going to take it. I'm just letting you know I'm not taking it.
Yeah.
I just tell them
Yeah.
like that, because I know my body. And that's why sometimes you have to find the right doctor
Mm-hmm.
that, like you said, even if you have a general, doctor, um,
Yeah.
you talk to them and see how
Mm-hmm.
they are with you and say, look, I really don't like those medicines. Can I try something else? Will you work with me? And if not,
Yeah.
then you find someone that works with you. So that way you have the trust of a medical doctor. If you want to see your bloods, your whatever, anything that's going on, and you
Yeah.
can get your x-rays or CAT scans or things that you need, but also do it in a natural way to
Mm-hmm.
make it last so you get healthy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. I always say there's a lot of really great doctors that actually still do care.
Yeah,
Now, of course, our medical field is um a little flooded with just people that know that the medical field pays well, but there are a lot of people that really still go for that profession because they genuinely do want to help people. So I mean, it shouldn't be that hard to find somebody that a good doctor that will support you being natural or holistic, or just however you want to care for your health.
exactly.
Definitely. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And I
Mm-hmm.
tell people, listen to your body.
Mm-hmm.
We get signs. We get all these warning signs. Like before I was like full blown diabetic, when I got
Mm-hmm.
diagnosed, I was like 40. I had it while I was pregnant. I had gestational diabetes. So it
Mm-hmm.
came on while the pregnancy, and that was a warning sign. But
Yeah.
I still didn't get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I really didn't get it. And I wish I knew to avoid the things that occurred during the life, especially because
Mm-hmm.
I had a stroke 6 years ago.
Oh wow.
So thank God that that it wasn't a bleeding stroke, and I survived, and I was
Yeah.
able to, my body regenerated, and it's taken me all these years, but I'm fully functional again. I had lost
Yeah.
50% of my left side and
Mm.
had to relearn how to, walk correctly. I
Yeah.
still notice little things, like I notice my lip will be down a little on the left side, just little things that change.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
overall, I'm great. I changed
Mm-hmm.
my lifestyle, changed my mindset. I changed.
Mm-hmm.
So people tell me, "Oh, you lost weight. You look great. What kind of diet you on?" No, I'm not on a diet. I have a
Mm-mm.
lifestyle change.
Mm-hmm.
And then they
Mm-hmm.
just stop. Like, what's that?
What does that even mean?
They
Yeah.
don't even understand. I go, you have to be able to change. You have to change your mind in
Mm-hmm.
order to take in what's good, because you have to relearn, right? We have to
Yeah.
relearn
Yeah.
everything we didn't know before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's just basically, the our country, we kind of we're blinded by like I said earlier, the quick fixes. Oh, I want to look like this, so I'm gonna go get this surgery, or I'm gonna do this. But like you said, it took time. But coming from a stroke and literally being back to normal, it's possible. You
Yeah,
can't. You just gotta change your mindset, because if you don't change your mindset, then you're gonna have the same problems over and over. You won't
exactly.
be able to get out that problem until you learn from it. So
And
yeah.
I've also learned that, for example, they said to me, "Oh, who's diabetic in your family?" I go, "Nobody." "Oh, well, that's impossible. It's hereditary."
No,
No,
it's
it's
not.
not hereditary.
Mhm.
Disease comes from the food that you eat. So if you have
It's
a family of five, right?
mhm,
Everybody eats the same thing. Of course, one person shops, mama shops, and she
mhm,
makes food. So everybody's eating the same thing, and we're getting the effects of preservatives or processed food or whatever we're doing, right?
mhm,
So everybody's going to have the same kind of disease because you're eating the same thing. Think
mhm,
about it. It's the
mhm.
same
It's
food.
the lifestyle. Yeah.
So, nobody in my family, had that. I know that my lifestyle when I was younger, being an IT manager, fixing computers, I was on call 24/7.
Mhm,
My diet was horrible.
mhm,
I
mhm,
didn't drink enough water. I
mhm.
didn't exercise. I was sitting at a desk hours a day, programming
Yeah.
new stuff.
Yeah.
Um, wasn't eating properly. I remember I used to shake because I didn't eat. And I'm like, why am I shaking? Because my blood sugar was going down. I didn't even know.
Yeah.
I didn't even know
Yeah.
what that was.
Yeah.
So I think about now all the little signs. There were so many
Mhm,
signs.
mhm,
And before I had the stroke, 2 weeks before I had the stroke, I was sick. I went to the doctor, regular doctor twice, into the hospital 3 times. They couldn't find nothing wrong with me. I said, something is wrong. My
See what I'm
blood,
saying?
my blood sugar was at 400 and wouldn't go down. You know what it is? I was at 400 sugar, and I was putting 2 insulins, nothing. It wouldn't go down. It just stayed. Even if I didn't eat, it was still there. And I had pain in my head on one side.
Yeah.
And I was like this. I went the day before I had the stroke, I was at the emergency room. The
Wow.
day before, and I'm like this, why does my head, only on one side, it was killing me, like somebody was pounding in there. And they're like, "Oh, we don't see anything wrong. You just have migraines." And you know what the doctor gave me? He gave me opiates. He gave me oxy and told me, "Go home, you have migraines." You know what I said to him? I said to him, you know, I should sue you for malpractice. I said,
Mhm.
because how dare you? You don't know who I am to give me an opiate. Did you ask me? Did you ask me that I'm a recovering addict? Okay, not from pills, but from some other stuff. So,
Mhm.
and you're going to give me opiates. Did you even ask me my profile? I can't take that stuff. What are you doing? And then that night I went to sleep and I had a stroke. Okay, thank goodness that I woke up. I was having in my dream. My dream woke me up. I always say God woke me up, or spirit something woke me up. And in my dream, the doctor walks in and says, "Miss Hernandez, you just had a stroke," just like that. And I opened my eyes, and I didn't know what was going on. I was like, "Really? Did I have a stroke?" Like it was a surreal moment.
Yeah.
And then so I think about all the signs that I had, and I went to the doctor, and I went
Mhm.
to the emergency room,
Mhm.
and nobody could figure it out.
Oh, especially the emergency room. They're really
They
just
don't.
like trying to get you out of there. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
that's what I
not gonna do
noticed.
it.
That's why I
Mhm.
tell people, if you're in emergency, like you're bleeding out, you're having a heart attack, you really need, you got cut,
Mhm.
whatever, you got shot, you go to emergency room.
Yeah, but
That's
if
what
it's
they
like
do.
a issue, you're better off just waiting.
Just wait
Don't go to
till
the emergency room. Yeah,
right.
they're not gonna do nothing for you. Yeah, no. They're just trying to. I worked in an emergency room. They're just trying to free up the next bed.
Mm.
So unfortunately, but
It's
yeah,
unfortunately.
yeah, that's a very terrible story, and it's just so crazy that they didn't catch it, and it's almost like, did they look hard enough?
How they couldn't have, because
No.
how is it possible? I mean, I was there the night before, like literally that night I went home and had the stroke. So you tell me they had to see something. I was already in pain. I had the headaches, and I had like weird like menstrual cramps.
Yeah.
Okay? But I didn't have my cycle anymore. So I knew
Yeah.
it wasn't that, but that's how I felt. Like I had cramping inside. And he's, oh, you're having abdominal. And I looked at the doctor. Did I say it was my stomach? I'm like, what are you talking about? Nobody's listening to what I'm saying.
No, they don't listen to you. I had a client recently. She thought she had an hysterectomy. She still had her ovaries though. So she just wanted something to balance her hormones. She starts to bleed. She's like, am I supposed to bleed? She's asking me questions like, am I supposed to bleed? And this, that, and the other. And I'm just like, not if you had a hysterectomy. Maybe you should stop taking it, go to the hospital. They do a ultrasound on her. She has her uterus.
And they told her they removed it?
Yes.
What?
They only removed part of her cervix that had, I guess, cancer or something like that on her. It was, yeah, I can't remember exactly what it is, but
horrible.
they didn't even do what they said they were going to do. And I guess because she was taking the mixture that I made her, it brought it down.
Wow.
It brought her cycle down.
That's crazy.
I mean, it's just the craziest stories that I hear.
Wow.
The very next day, she's like, can you believe that my uterus is still in my body? When they told me that,
Talk about lawsuit. That's a major lawsuit there.
Oh yeah, I'm thinking that that's what she's gonna do, but
well,
yeah,
I mean, really,
so
because if she had cancer in part of her uterus, why would you leave it, right? I
she has
mean,
cervical cancer,
right?
and so they were saying that they were gonna take, and they did not. They only took a piece off.
That poor woman. That's why
Giving her all types of medicine, and the medicine that they were giving her was actually what was stopping the period. And so the herbs counteracted with it and brought it down. And she was like, where is this coming from? Am I bleeding internally? I mean, we didn't think it was going to be a cycle. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, crazy stories that you hear. And you think, why? I can't explain that one. But
I know.
Yeah.
I know. It's unfortunate. I mean, there are a lot of great doctors out there, and then other ones that you just have to be careful. You know? They're not all of them are, many people pass the exam to be a doctor, but that doesn't mean that they're good doctors. So you have to do your research, get referrals from people. I always tell, get a referrals. No, somebody have you been going there for a long time? Or do that kind of research. And again, like the holistic doctors, I have several here. I go to my acupuncturist for the last 6 years. She was the one who saved me from the stroke, because I mean, I went there like 3 times a week in the beginning. I did a detox. I had another acupuncturist I went to first, and he told me do some detoxing. He gave me some herbs to take, and it was hard because I had never done that before. So now, my body's like in shock. I just went through this stroke. My body was all messed up. I had pain on my left side for like at least a year and a half.
Yeah.
It was just, I can't even, I think about it now, and I'm so blessed. I'm so grateful that I can be able to talk about it today, and that I'm pain free, that I don't have any more pain, and I can walk and dance and do things, and I don't have any limitations.
No, absolutely. So, I totally agree with that. Because if it was up to those doctors for me, I would have had a full hysterectomy into menopause at 25. So it's just, I appreciate that I came across the information about herbs, and that's the reason why I do what I do. because there's so many just people in general, like not even just women, of course, men too. Men at a certain age with their hormones, their testosterone starts to drop, or they have issues with prostate. A lot of people have issues with high blood pressure, diabetes, cholesterol, lupus, cancer. Herbs can help all of those things. And so that's just what I want to put out there. You know, if people are just trying to figure out, where do I start? Where do I start to learn about herbs and stuff like that? That's the reason why I have my online herbal class, which just kind of gets you started with herbs in your backyard, in your kitchen, how to grow your own herbs, and herbs from all around the world that is available and much cheaper than your physician bill. So,
Oh, yeah.
So
it's so true.
just that's basically what I want to put out in my platform and in your platform as well. You know, just learn stuff for yourself. Don't only believe what your doctors say, but it's okay to double check it because it's your life.
Right.
So,
right. And
yeah.
right now we have, you know, we grow up in the age that we have so much information with our phones. Technology, I mean, it's available for us now. So, you know, back in the 80s, we didn't have this. Okay. And I relied on my grandmother, you know. When I went to Puerto Rico, she would be like, no, you need this and this and that. And I remember we always, like I said, we always had ginger at home all the time. And I remember before I used to go to sleep, she used to give me like a warm glass of milk with some ginger and just a little sugar. And that was like before I went to sleep. You know, I don't drink dairy now, but
yeah, me neither.
Yeah. So you can do it with almond milk or oat milk, and you just put you got to get the ground ginger, and you put it there, and you just make like a ginger, instead of a hot chocolate, it's ginger.
Oh, okay. See, my mom used to just boil the root, and then we'll just drink it like that.
Yeah.
But that's actually like that probably tastes a little different.
It
Add
tastes
some
really
milk
good.
to it. Yeah.
It's so
That
good.
sounds
I remember
good.
as a little girl, we put a little sugar, like half a teaspoon of ground ginger, and then the warm milk, and then you just drink it, and it's just so good. And growing up in New York, it was cold all the time, so you know,
that's what I was
warm
gonna say. It
things.
sounds like winter.
Yeah, but I drink tea. Like I drink my herbal tea all the time. I make hibiscus with the moringa.
Yeah.
And now what we've done is we make it iced. So I make it fresh, and then I cool it off, and I put it in the refrigerator. So instead of changing up with the water, I drink the tea.
Yeah.
And water all day.
That sounds really good.
Yeah, my husband brought me. I have a whole thing right here full of iced tea and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in my office now. There's like almost everything.
Oh, I see all the herbs. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, another thing I wanted to put out, I know we're probably about to end this. Right now, sexual health is really big right now. A lot of people are getting STIs are at a rise, you know, in everybody's communities. I just kind of wanted to put out there, herbs can help with that as well. You can go to your doctor, you can get tested. Make sure when you go to your doctor, you don't just say you want to get tested for STIs. Get tested, ask for the full panel, because they don't offer it automatically. Ask for the full panel, and herbs can help that as well. I have ebooks on sexual health and STIs and stuff like that. So I just want to throw that out there, that herbs can help everything. Don't feel embarrassed. Ask for help when needed, and just stay safe.
That's great. That's great. So I will make sure I link up all your website, and then I'll have to take one of your class just to check it out and see how it is.
Absolutely.
I'm always looking to learn more, and hey, you never know. So my husband and I got him into it, so he's always researching stuff, and he'll come over and say, look, I found this, you know. It's like the other day I found the fruit that comes on the cactus, the Nepal, I think it is. So they have it ground.
Yeah.
Prickly pear. Pear. So I found it's pink. So they have the ground of that fruit. So I put that in the smoothie. I just take a scoop, put it in there, and I buy beets. I buy the beets also.
Yeah. I didn't used to like beets, but my mom definitely got me into it. So.
Oh, I love beets. Beets are so good for you.
Yeah, they are good for you.
I was saying that the beets, the color, I bet you can dye your hair because my hair is pink, right? So
Yeah.
I can use the beets and just put it in my hair.
I think so. My mom actually puts it in a potato salad and it makes it pink. And
Yep.
I think it can do it.
I probably will. I'm gonna have to try. It's like probably like a henna.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
a henna
Yeah.
thing
If
for
you
your
keep
hair.
it
So
in long enough.
that's why I've been growing mine out because I'm trying to get rid of the chemicals and I bought some henna. So I'm waiting to see how that's gonna work. Yeah.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Yeah, because I figured if I'm trying to be healthy, I have to be healthy in all aspects. So I don't want to put any more chemicals. And people don't understand anything you put on your skin goes to your bloodstream. It goes right into your bloodstream. So you have to be very careful. That's why one thing I just thought of this when we were kids, when we had a fever, right? High fever, grandma, mom would have grabbed the alcohol. Remember the rubbing alcohol? Well, rubbing alcohol is pure alcohol. So what happens is if you have a baby and they have 103 fever and you put directly on their skin, they get intoxicated from the alcohol. So now when you have a baby, they give you a pamphlet that says do not use rubbing alcohol. And if you do, you have to dilute it with water.
Yeah.
Because it does help the fever. It does.
Yeah.
For some reason, it does bring it down. But if not, it causes seizures.
Yeah. It's
on
so
babies.
strong. And yeah.
So when I was 5 years old, I had 105 fever. I got really, really sick. And my mother put rubbing alcohol to bring the fever down. And I started having seizures. The doctors didn't know at that time. They thought I was epileptic. So for years, they gave me a little pill to stop seizures, which I never even had a problem with that. It was because of the rubbing alcohol. And they didn't find that out till years later, like 20, 30 years later, that rubbing alcohol is not good. So for all those new mothers out there or mothers to be, don't use rubbing alcohol. And it's lukewarm. You just put the baby in a lukewarm water, just cool, and you get the temperature to go down. Don't use any other thing because then it's really bad for them. So
that's a good note to have. Yeah.
A little tip like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So,
well, I appreciate being on here. This was fun. This is my first podcast. So
look at that. No, this is great. This is being natural, and that's how it is, because people need to see that we're real people and we go through stuff. That's why I always talk about my story and things that have happened to me. I don't have a script. I just kind of go with the flow because that's how we are naturally.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, so hopefully somebody will learn something today. Check out Asia's herbsandasia.com, which I'll put on here on the website and all the links, and you can go there. I put her page up. She has her class. You can sign up for her class. Like she said, she has some ebooks and more information, and just get healthy out there with some herbs. And so next time you're walking outside and you see some plant, just take a picture, find out what it is.
Yeah, right.
So thank you, Asia, so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
All right, great. And if you come to Florida, let me know. You can stop by the studio.
All righty.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Bye. Take care. Bye. So everybody, thanks for watching another episode of Rebooted the Podcast. And remember, I told you, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, where you can see me all the time. Also, I'm on Spotify, iHeart, Google, Apple Podcasts, all the platforms I'm on there. So look me up so you can listen on the go while you're in the car, or you're taking a break at work or at lunch. You can listen to me. Sometimes it's half an hour, sometimes an hour. It all depends on my guests and how we flow. So just remember to subscribe and like my content, so the algorithms out there and AI and all that stuff will bring me to the top, and I can reach more people and help more people out there stay healthy. So have a great one, and see you next time. Thank you for joining us today. Don't forget to follow us on social media at Rebooted the Podcast to learn about each episode's guests and topics. This is your host, Alita Hernandez. See you next Tuesday.